like who if you're a student in this room or like university student or student, just type me. I'm a student because he was started when he was in university. So you can imagine. So the experience he experienced in the past, right? And then who he become is incredible. So without further ado, I really wanted to squeeze more time for him to share and this amazing person, my dear friends, all the way from United States, international president team member, Clint Grimberg.
All right, thank you, Yen. You can hear me now, right? I'm not on an airplane anymore.
Now in clear.
Okay, all right, perfect. So thanks for that introduction. I'm super excited to be online today, this afternoon, Saturday, with 120 other amazing people. That is incredible. So I'm excited. I know that a lot of you are in Malaysia and all over the world, actually. I myself, I'm right here in Singapore, and I'm going to share with you today a lot of my journey, but not just my journey. I'm going to be sharing with you really how I built my business and the incredible opportunity that all of you guys have as well, being part of this incredible company we call Herbalife. And so I know also we have some people on here that are brand new. Maybe they just got started on the products and they're looking at becoming a member. They're already a member with the company. So pay special attention. I'm going to give you some tips today that you guys can put into action. And so without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and bring up my slides. See here. So this is usually where I get technically challenged, but looks like everything is working. So you guys can see my slides, correct? Okay, great, perfect. So yes, I'm a president's team member with Herbalife, not just myself, but my incredible wife. It really definitely was a lot of amazing teamwork to get to where we are today. For myself, I've been in Herbalife for over 20 years, 21 plus years. Myself and my wife, we've accomplished the 2 million personal volume point lifetime achievement award. And we are, of course, international president's team members. And so it's been quite a journey in Herbalife. And, if you told me 21 years ago when I first signed my application, because back then we didn't have online applications, you had to fill out a piece of paper. When I did that, if you told me I'd be sitting here in Singapore this morning or this afternoon, talking to people in Malaysia and all over the world, and having the incredible life that I have today, I just couldn't even have imagined, right? And so, where I started from, like Yen did a great job sharing, is I started as a student when I was 19 years old. And I did have a previous work experience as a dishwasher and as a painter. So this picture is actually me coming home from one of my painting jobs. And painting was something I did because my dad was a contractor and painter. And in the United States, when you do manual labor, like building buildings and painting buildings and stuff like that, actually the income is not that bad. It's a fairly good, decent income. And so I was doing this as an extra part-time job in and around my studies. And I was actually I was actually working to go for a double major at the time. So I wanted to do business. I wanted to do business with specific focus in marketing and finance. And I thought, if I study business, I don't know about you guys, but I wanted to make money, and I figured there'd be no better way to make money than to study business. And if you know business, you're going to make money. And so I decided that I wanted to study business. So I was busy when I started. It wasn't like I had a lot of time. I was taking double the amount of classes that, most other people were taking. I was like on an accelerated course. And I was also training for a black belt in martial arts. I was active, I had all family commitments and everything like that as well. So my schedule was pretty full. And it wasn't like I had a lot of time in my schedule. But, how I found Herbalife wasn't actually as a customer. I think this is important too. And I'm going to touch on why this is really important right now for you guys. Normally, when somebody shares their Herbalife journey, one of the first things they're going to show you is, their before and after results and what happened to them on the products. And my story is a little bit different than that because I didn't start as a customer. I actually started because I was looking for the income opportunity. And why this is so important is because you have to remember, and I would probably tell you to write this down, we offer two opportunities. So if you're only talking to people about one thing, let's say about the opportunity to get healthy, that's great. That's not a problem by any means, but you're missing the other half of what we offer, which is the opportunity to build a financial future, to build financial opportunity, right? And I think that's more important than ever right now, especially for a lot of you that are in Malaysia, because obviously there's so many different challenges. The economy, it's not going to get better anytime soon for those. And there's a lot of people out there that may not be open to getting healthier. It's not like their top priority. But I don't think you'd meet anybody right now that wouldn't want more financial security. And so it's so important that you remember how I started, because I started for the financial element. And so how that all worked, just to be clear, is I was working these extra jobs, washing dishes, painting houses, and I was doing that because my parents couldn't afford to pay for all of my school fees and all of my different expenses. So I was having to pay for a lot of that myself, which is why I was working the extra jobs. And there came a point in time where I was out of work. And there's a lot of people out of work right now in Malaysia and around the world, right? So that was me. I was out of work. I kept calling my boss to see if he had more jobs for the painting, and he didn't have more jobs. And so my savings account was going down, down, down. And I finally realized, hey, if I don't change something and I keep depending on my boss, I'm not going to have anything pretty soon. And so I started looking for a new opportunity, and I answered an ad that talked about ability to work from home, and owning a computer. You could work from home, and flexible training, full training provided, no experience necessary. And I thought this sounds like something that's definitely for me, because I have zero experience in anything but washing dishes and painting houses. And so I answered that ad, and that's actually how I met my sponsor. And he started talking to me about Herbalife and the Herbalife opportunity. One of the next important things I'm going to share is this part of my story. 2 months before I answered that advertisement, I had actually painted the office of an Herbalife President's Team member. I didn't know what President's Team meant. I didn't know what Herbalife was about. But I did know that they were selling these vitamins and these powders, which is the way I looked at it, and they were making a lot of money. I had no idea that I could get involved. I had no idea that this is something I could do. And their assistant, they had an assistant in their office, took my information down, took my number down, and said that they would call me to give me some more information and show me, that about the opportunity. And again, I didn't understand what that meant. I was like, sure, if they're going to talk to me about how I can make more money, great, I'll listen. And they never called me. They never called me. And I mean, imagine that, getting somebody's number and not calling them, and eventually seeing them on stage getting pinned as a President's Team member. So the moral of the story is that you got to talk to everybody and don't prejudge anybody. And so I got started with my sponsors, and you got to remember where I was at the time. I was 19 years old, student, no bank account, no credit card, no experience. I basically had a long list of reasons why this opportunity wasn't going to work for me. I could have made the longest list possible. Like, oh man, I got, this reason and that reason. And you know what? None of those reasons were going to make my life any better. And so you might want to ask, any reasons you have that stop you from looking at a new opportunity, are those reasons going to make your life any better if you focus on those reasons, on those things, on that list? And so I decided, you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why maybe this isn't going to work, but if I don't try, I'll never know. And that's really how I went into Herbalife. It was like, I'm just going to try and see, because right now I don't really have much else going on. Like, I need to make money, and this is the best thing I can find at the moment. So let's try and see, you know? And it's like, if you don't take a chance, you don't have a chance. And so I decided to get started. I was skeptical. And keep in mind, when I got started and I registered as a member with Herbalife, I hadn't even used the products yet. I didn't even know what the shake tasted like. Okay, so I didn't have like 10-kilo weight loss and knew that the product was good. I didn't even know if the product would work, right? I just was looking for that income opportunity. But keep in mind, there's probably a lot of people out there in all over the world and in Malaysia right now that they'll just be open to an income opportunity. But the great thing is that Herbalife is so much more known today than 21 years ago. 21 years ago, people like Herbalife, that's something with herbs, but they didn't really know much. Now you say Herbalife, they're like, oh yeah, nutrition, weight loss, they know more. And a lot of people, they know the product works. So we didn't have that when I started. And so it was just like, I'm going to test this product and see if it works, and hopefully I make money. And so I signed up with my sponsors. Their names are Doug and Meta, and they live in the United States. They're executive president's team members. And this is my actual application that I filled out. I signed up on March 24th, 2000. And I got started on the products. I'll talk about that more in a minute. And you know what? When I got started, my sponsors were 4,000 kilometers away. So at that time, there was no Zoom, there was no Facebook, FaceTime, all of this stuff didn't even exist. So literally, I learned the business over the phone. So I was reading the Herbalife manuals, and then I would have appointments, and then my sponsor would tell me what to do. And that's basically how I learned the business. I mean, the opportunity that you guys have today to be able to even get on this Zoom would be so futuristic and out of this world thinking back in 2000, if you guys can remember. Like, oh wow, I can just get on here and talk to 112 people or 120 people on a Saturday all around the world and show them how to do this business. Like, we didn't have that. So the tools that you have today are absolutely incredible. So for me to get to one of my first trainings, I actually had to get on an airplane and fly halfway across the US, even to meet my sponsors in person, even to really know what they look like. I didn't even really know what they look like. I just knew the voice on the phone. And so I got to this training though. So I'm going to give you a couple of important things. And what I want to highlight here are the decisions I made that helped me to get to where I am today. And one of the things that was always shared with me is like, if you copy success, you get success. And so what I'm sharing with you is the decisions have made that have led me to the current level of success that I have. So if you like that level of success, if you want something like that, you could make, possibly, if you choose.
Hi, Clint. Your reception is a little bit breaking.
Can you guys hear me now?
Still interrupt a little bit.
Stable internet is something's up with my.
So do you have another devices we can use? And then using
Clint,
this
you can,
for, yeah.
perhaps Clint, you can log in with your mobile phone and keep your laptop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, log in with another mobile phone.
All right. So hi everybody. Thank you for your patience. And you know, this is something we can't change, right? That, yeah, interruptions. But like, I just wanted to share a little quick story about uh, Clint. Is actually you know, from 21 years in Herbalife, right? You can say how often we meet some person working in the same job, have that kind of passion and enthusiasm to share to you about what his journey is like. He don't get paid by this. Just wanted to let you know. He don't get pay by doing sharing, and then neither he got any benefit from this. But it's Herbalife culture. What we wanted to do is by our personal experience, and then to share what we went through in the journey, and then what he went through in the journey, and going to share with you and let you see this is something can, you know, also benefit to you and your family, right? So like that is the beauty part of Herbalife. And is Clint there? Let me continue then. So like wait until he's ready. Okay, so like this is something you know, we used to do a lot when we
Can you guys hear me now? Sorry. Yes.
All right. I was just sharing about the beauty part of you don't get paid to do this, but like it's by heart, you sharing your experience to everyone. And then not many people doing a same job for 21 years and then still have the passion and enthusiasm to share about the journey. So thank you so much, Clint, and I'm going to pass it to you. Okay.
Okay. And I'm clear, right? Okay. Okay, great. So thank you, Yan, for that. Thank you for covering for me. We get all flustered with the technology, but it's so much better than getting on a plane and flying 6 hours to go somewhere, right? So we'll deal with it. So anyways, as I was sharing the decisions I made, so the number one decision I made was to keep an open mind. That idea of if you don't take a chance, you don't have a chance. And you can apply that to any area of your life, by the way. It's not just Herbalife. And then the second decision I made was to trust my sponsors, to trust my coaches, and to get started in Herbalife. To trust them enough that they would help me, they would do what they said they were going to do and support me, and to trust in them and to make my registration. So the next decision I made was to get on the products. So it's kind of funny because I did it backwards probably compared to some of you. Make the decision to become a member, then use the products. So you guys that maybe are already using the products, have already had results, you guys are, miles or kilometers ahead of where I was the day I signed my registration as a member. But my sponsor said, hey, if you want to do this business, the first thing is you have to believe in what you're doing. Okay, you're never going to be successful in something you don't believe in. And I truly understand that more than ever today. And so I was hesitant to get on the products, 19 years old. I didn't have diabetes. I didn't have a lot of weight to lose. I thought I looked pretty good. But if you look to the picture to the far left, it doesn't look like I was training for a black belt. It looks like I was training for a donut eating competition, right? And I was spending 3 to 5 hours. I was spending about 2 to 3 hours 5 times a week training, and I wasn't seeing a difference in my body shape. I was more tired. My energy was probably the biggest thing. I was sleeping. I was having to go to my car and sleep in between my different classes just to make it through the day. My energy was really bad. And I had no idea that nutrition could make such a big difference until I got on the Herbalife products. And the first 2 or 3 days, my energy went up, and that was amazing. So keep in mind, by the way, the first result that anybody can get that can be exciting is just feeling better energy-wise, right? And so I ended up losing about 5 kilos of body fat, and I went on to put on over the years 5 kilos of lean muscle. And today I'm 40 years old, and I am definitely in the best shape of my life thanks to Herbalife. So that next big decision I made was using the product. So again, if you've already used the products, you've already made that decision. You're already halfway there. And so there's always another result you can get. And if you want to know one of the biggest secrets to success, it's just about being excited. Because this is really not about chasing and convincing people, it's about attracting people to us. And when you're excited about what you have, it's hard not to be attractive, right? And so I've constantly been working on my results, even for the last 21 years. And now I have a new result. I'm super excited about this, right? You can feel it. So I recently, I never actually finished my black belt training in the other martial art that I was doing because, I got busy. I started traveling the world. And are you guys still hearing me okay? Okay. All right. So anyway, so I decided this year, 2021, to go back to martial arts. And I decided to get enrolled in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is an amazing martial art. I highly recommend it. I'm like my wife says I'm like a fanatic now. And what I love is every day I get to demonstrate my product results because every day I'm grappling, I'm wrestling with different guys, and every day, almost every single day I go into class, somebody tells me, or the guy I'm grappling with tells me, "Wow, you are so strong." And then they ask me how old I am, and then I tell them I'm 40. I'm going to be 41 soon, and they're like 26, right? And I'm like beating them like over and over and over, and it just really makes me appreciate the fact that I found Herbalife beyond the income, beyond anything else, to have the level of health, vitality, and strength that I do right now at the age of 40, to be able to go and start doing jujitsu at the age of 40 and be able to not just be okay in my health and fitness within this martial art, but actually be able to excel. So I'm excelling, and it's just amazing. And I've actually been getting customers from this. So now I don't even need to show my picture. I just put them on the mat and then they, do what I need to do. And then they're like, "Well, how do you do that?" And then I'm just like, "Oh, it's nutrition. It's nutrition." And they're like, "What do you do for your workout?" "No, it's my nutrition plan." And then I just start the conversation from there and be getting customers. So I'm always working on something and staying excited. And staying excited is the key. So, basically I got great results on the products, like I shared, 5 kilos. And I got excited. And, I went to my mom and I told my mom, because I thought my mom was going to be my first customer. And so, my mom had been trying to lose weight for like 20 years. She was on this program called Weight Watchers. I don't know if you've heard of it. Basically, she watched her weight go down and then watched it go back up and then watched it go down and up and down and up for 20 years. So she was at the point where she didn't really want to try another diet or nutrition or anything like that. So when I got started, she said, "Good luck to you. Hope it works out, but don't ask me to buy anything, do anything, sign anything, sell anything. This is your thing. Don't get me involved." And so when I got on the products, I started getting results. Of course, I went to her and she said, "Hey, look, I'm not interested," you know. And so I was taking my shakes and my tablets and my tea and everything like that. And I would take my shake in the morning, drink my shake, and I you know leave it at home. I'd go to school. I'd come back and I'd take a shake at night for dinner or whatever. And I started noticing that my shake was losing weight faster than I was, right? It's like there was less shake in the can than when I left in the morning. And I started noticing also that my mom was starting to like stand on the weighing scale every day. And I was like, what was she doing? Like, this is not normal. You know, she never got on the scale because she didn't want to see the number anymore. And, you know, finally I realized my mom was losing weight. My products were losing weight. And I realized my mom had been stealing my product while I was at school because she didn't want to admit, right? You know, those people, they don't want to admit that they actually are doing something different than what they said they were going to do. And she's like, I was like, "Hey, are you taking my product?" And she said, "I'm just trying it." I say, you don't need to try, you need to buy the product. And so my mom became my first customer. And it wasn't because of what I said, because when I said something to her, she actually kind of shot me down, right? She said, "No, not interested." But it was what I showed. It was what I showed. And I showed my result. I was showing results. She could see my results. She saw the scale changing. And so you can't write this down. You can't argue with results. Results are results. And so it was the results that I was showing that got my mom on the program. So one of the big things I want to stop and point out here is with social media today, you can show your results to so many more people than you could when I started. The only person that really first saw my results was my mom, because she was in the house with me. I didn't have Facebook where I could document my journey and share it with 1,000 people or 3,000 or 10,000 people. So today, again, the tools that you have are just make the business so much more, I have to use the word easy. Okay. I'm not saying the business is easy, but it's easier to do what we used to do because of the tools you have today. So my mom actually got started in 13 days. And then I have my sister. And my sister, she was younger at the time, but she didn't want to have anything again to do with nutrition. She thought she had her own thing figured out. And, you know, I talked to her about the products. My dad, my stepdad, everybody started using the products except for my sister. And finally, my sister got a little bit older. She started taking an interest in guys. Guys started taking an interest in her. And it only took my sister 13 years to start on the products. Only 13 years. So here's the thing, as you're new, okay, be patient. Be patient with people. And what's most important is that you just keep showing results. You just keep showing up, whether it's results in the income that you're earning, the lifestyle that you're living, the results you're getting on the product. Just keep showing those results. And trust me, the people that weren't interested now or aren't interested now, trust me, in a year, 2 years, if you keep consistently showing results, they're going to come back. Okay. And they're also going to be like, "Oh, I knew you could do it." Some of your biggest skeptics are going to be like, "See, I knew you could do it." And it's like, that's not what you told me before, but it doesn't matter. What matters is your results, sharing and showing your results. And so the next big decision that I made was really focusing on the marketing plan. And if you're new today, you know, for me, when I got started, my first event, I really got clear that I needed to be a supervisor as fast as possible. And so I focused in on getting a supervisor because 50% is always better than 25 or 35%. And with me, I wanted to start making some extra money. So I didn't have a lot of time. But it's not about time in Herbalife necessarily. It's about focus. So I focused in on supervisor, and because I was going to make 50% as a supervisor, so I figured I could put in the same amount of time into my Herbalife business and I could make double the money. I could make double the money in the same amount of time. So I focused in, and I actually ended up getting to supervisor within my first 2 full months in Herbalife. I had no bank account. I had no credit card. I had no experience. I had no Facebook. I had no Zoom. I had no sponsor even near me to work with. And I was able to go out, and the way I did it was I just basically, honestly, I talked to everybody I knew, and not everybody got started. But the big key was I had my results, and then my mom started getting results. And so my mom had friends that started seeing her results, and my aunt started seeing her results. My other friends, my girlfriend started seeing my results. And from just sharing the results, in my first month, I had about 12 customers. And by my second full month in the business, I was a supervisor. But that big decision was focusing in on getting to supervisor as fast as possible, because that's really where you start to see a difference in your income. And so ever since then, I've always focused in on just what's my next step in the marketing plan. And that's what's so amazing about Herbalife is there's always going to be a training available to teach you how to get to the next step. There's always going to be somebody in your coaches, your upline, that's going to be there to show you how to get to your next step. This is your business, so you have that freedom of having your own business, but not trying to figure it out all on your own, right? I mean, that would be a nightmare to start a new business. I wouldn't want that. I want to just follow a blueprint that I know is going to work. And that's what we have in Herbalife. And so I got to supervisor in the first 2 full months. And I started making, my first month, I made $650 US. And I kept going to the trainings. I kept plugging into the training system. And then I started bringing people with me. I started having my customers listening into, some of the events. I started having my new members listen into some of the events. So I started bringing people with me. And within 24 months of registering as a member, so 24 months, I went from member to millionaire team. And I was 21 years old. I was making over 7,000 US a month, which was more than my parents were making. And at that point in time, I decided that, I want to make this my career. Because even if I had gone to university, now if you're in university, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to stop your school, okay? I'm just telling you what I did. And I looked around at my university, and I looked around at the people that were teaching me business, my professors, my people that were teaching me business. And I realized that they weren't even making $7,000 a month full time. And they're teaching me how to build a business. And I'm part-time making 7,000. I started thinking, what would happen if I went full time? And so I decided, okay, I'm going to take 3 months I'm going to take a break from my school. That's what I told my mom. And I'm going to see how far I can take this. And that was after 2 years of being part-time. And I never went back to school. So long story short is that I don't have any official degree. I've basically learned the highest levels of education I have is a PhD, professional Herbalife distributor. Okay, that's what I am today. And so, the big thing was getting to supervisor, getting plugged into the events, because write this down, you can only go as far as you can see. You can only go as far as you can see. And when you get to the different events, even if they're virtual, by the way, because I know we're still going to have virtual events for a while, not forever, but for a while longer, okay? Getting to the events is going to continue to give you a vision and to let you know how far it is possible for you to go. But you can't go somewhere you can't see, all right? You don't know exists. And that's why it's so important. So I kept plugging into those events, like I said, and then like I said as well, is all I kept doing was bringing people with me. So that next big decision I made beyond supervisor was getting and staying plugged into the events. Because also, I have to be honest, you know, it's not all fun and games. I also, you deal with people that say no to you, okay? And they're not saying no to you, by the way, they're just saying no to the Herbalife opportunity, health or wealth, what have you. But you have to deal with challenges. There are challenges. And the support system that your upline, your sponsors have for you is designed to help you overcome those challenges. It's designed to give you the energy, the focus, the knowledge you need. So you're going to get success by staying constantly plugged into the system. Very, very important. And so the next big decision I made was to stay focused and consistent. And one of the things I did is I focused in on promotions. And there was a promotion when I first got started. It was a paid vacation to Hawaii. And Hawaii was such a big deal because my mom, she was like in her 40s already by that time. My mom had always dreamed about going to Hawaii, but neither my father nor my stepfather had ever had the time or the money. Like if they had the money to take her, they didn't have the time because they were too busy working, right? Or if they had the time to take her, they didn't have the money because they weren't working or whatever. And so it was her dream to go to Hawaii. And so it was 100,000 volume points in 12 months. Okay, we don't have these kind of promotions anymore. I wish we did. So it was 100,000 volume points in 12 months. And I keep in mind, I had just become a supervisor. So I didn't know, you know, really what it took. But my sponsor said, hey, we're going to work together and you can qualify to go to Hawaii. So I focused in, you know, day and night working to qualify for Hawaii, to like fulfill on my mom's dream. And over 12 months, I was working, and I qualified for Hawaii. I brought my mom to Hawaii. It was like she was just blown away. Because when you go on Herbalife vacations, by the way, it's not a normal vacation. It's not even close to a normal vacation. It's like a whole nother level because all your friends are there, Herbalife treating you to the best things. You can afford to go on a vacation. Some of you can afford to go on a vacation, but you can never afford to go on an Herbalife vacation because you can't create that environment with just money. You have to be with the people and the place and the whole thing. It's unbelievable. And so what was amazing though is when I got to Hawaii and we were sitting eating dinner with, you know, the president of the company, and they called my name. I was like, oh, who's calling my name? And I got up on stage, and on stage they pinned me for the global expansion team. And it was the fact that I focused on the promotion that caused me to put forth the effort that grew my business to the global expansion team. And you know, less than 6 months after that, I was on the millionaire team because I kept making the daily decision to stay focused and consistent. Okay, and this, if you guys want to know what the biggest challenge is in Herbalife, and I'll just tell you, because there are challenges, it's not the products, it's not the company, it's not the marketplace, okay? All those things are ready. They're just waiting for you. It's really about just focus and consistency. These are probably the two biggest challenges that you will face, but again, they're challenges that you can definitely overcome, okay? And so today, like I keep talking about, it's just amazing. Today, you know, myself and my wife, we're here in Singapore, but we are President's Team members with business, I think, in more than 40 countries around the world. About half of our business is actually in Malaysia, but we have business in Australia, the Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, the US, Brazil, Iceland, UK. It's like the list is like, when I see the report from Herbalife, it's amazing. My little business that I started on one piece of paper, and I was living in my parents' house, like in the basement, And today I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and it's like my international business. And it's not because of me by any means. It's because of the Herbalife products and the support and the training system. Because remember, I had no experience. I had no background. I had nothing. I had nothing really except for desire that would tell you that this was going to work. Everything else, so the only thing you need to have in order for this opportunity to work for you is a desire to change your circumstances. And if you have that desire and you're willing to trust your sponsor, make the decision to become a member if you haven't already, make the decision to use the products consistently, and make the decision to plug into the system, I'm telling you right now, anything is possible. And so today we have people all over the world. We get to connect with them just like I'm connecting with you on Zoom. And because of this, though, because of how we've built our business today, we get to have an incredible lifestyle. And one of my visions was always to have freedom. And I think that's the biggest reason why I do this business. It's not so much about how much exact money is in my bank account or what kind of car I have or anything like that. It's just about options. It's just about freedom. I don't have to ask a boss if I can have a certain amount of time with my family. And so, maybe your vision, one of my visions is always to go on a sailboat. So, this last year in 2020, while most people unfortunately were locked down with a pandemic, because we had the Herbalife opportunity, myself and my wife were actually able to live in this cottage. We had a cottage on the beach in the Caribbean. And we lived right on the beach, like, 3 steps out in the white sand Caribbean. And we lived in Antigua, an island in the Caribbean, for 2 months. And then we eventually left the Caribbean. We didn't want to come back to Singapore, okay, because of the situation. And we were able to go to French Polynesia, so Tahiti, Bora Bora. So this is me, okay? This is me attending a training on the back of a sailboat in Bora Bora. That was a lifestyle. And the picture behind me here, this background that I have, this isn't something I got from Microsoft. This is where I was living for 3 months last year in Tahiti and in Bora Bora and all the islands we sailed. So we actually got to sail for 3 months. So, I don't know if freedom is what you're looking for, but it's definitely possible in Herbalife. And, it's freedom to go places. And, I have so many passions, whether it's mountain biking or hiking in the mountains. And so this is on the sailboat as well. So freedom to do the things you love. How many things do you have to sacrifice because you are just busy making a living, earning a living instead of designing a life? And so Herbalife gives us this amazing opportunity to design a life. So, besides going to Tahiti in the Caribbean, we have a house in the US in the mountains. And so we get to go to the mountains, the beaches, the snow. I actually just bought our ticket back to the United States for Christmas. And, we just said, how long do we want to go back for? How long do we want to go back to the US and visit my family? And said, okay, it's like a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months. I don't know. We'll just go back, because at this point in time, it doesn't even matter where we are. We can be anywhere we want and be building our Herbalife income and have a residual income. And, one of the most incredible things is over the last year, even though we traveled around the world and lived in the Caribbean, lived in, French Polynesia, sailed around, fished, mountain biked, swam with sharks, did all the great things, our income actually increased. Our income increased. I mean, what a blessing is Herbalife, right? To have that kind of opportunity. And, we brought my son, and my son is now 5, but he's got a chance. My son has actually traveled around the world about probably at least 3 or 4 times, literally around the world, like from Asia to South America to North America, and being able to have the time with your kids. And I know Yen gets to experience this as well. A lot of you guys that are full-time in Herbalife, this is what it's all about, to be able to continue to build a career that allows you to have the more time and freedom with your kids at the same time. Like, yeah, you can build this amazing career. I mean, I have lawyers and doctors in my family, but the amount of time they spend with their family is way out of proportion compared to the amount of time they spend with their colleagues and coworkers. And trust me, probably when at the end of the day, when your life is done here, it's not going to be like, geez, I'm so glad I spent so much time with my colleagues. It's going to be more like, geez, I'm so glad I spent this trip, for example, with my son, getting him to experience things that none of his friends, by the way, in school have experienced. Like, none of his friends have been on a catamaran sailing islands for 3 weeks, swimming with sharks and going spearfishing. Like, they just don't do that. And so it's just the experiences that you get to give people in your family, and the time you get to spend is absolutely amazing. And so, you know, one of the other things I got to do, which is really personal to me, is that I get to spend time with people in my family. And why I'm telling you that, I mean, I told you that, but why it's really important to me is that the picture on the left is actually my cousin. And he was born 2 days after me. So we grew up together. I don't have a brother, but if I was going to say, is there anybody that has been like a brother to me, it was my cousin, because we were very close in age. My mom and my aunt also very close. So I really grew up with my cousin. And my cousin, at the age of, I think it was 38, he was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And so if you know anything about pancreatic cancer, your survival rate is not good. And he was, at first, he was given 3 months to live, 3 to 6 months to live. And he actually lasted 18 months. And he never made it to 40. So we didn't get to celebrate our 40th birthday together. But before he had to go on his next journey, I was able to spend a lot of time with him. So he was flying from California to Arizona to get chemotherapy treatments. He was on all sorts of treatments, some of the most potent chemotherapy treatments you can be on. And he was on Herbalife, by the way, as well. And he did extremely well for all of his 18 months. His quality of life, except for around the chemo treatment time, was amazing. And he's really an inspiration to me. Like, to see somebody sit there for 15 hours and get a chemotherapy treatment and then go play golf is amazing. Like, he really loved the Herbalife products as well. And but I was able to travel with him for his chemotherapy treatment, which a lot of other people didn't have the time or couldn't afford to do. And then, you know, make a lot of his dreams come true. So like I rented a Maserati. So we went driving through the desert in a Maserati. We were shooting machine guns, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So it was like whatever he wanted to do, we just did it. And, you know, I'll never be able to, no amount of money in the world would ever be able to pay for what I got to experience with him. And, you know, the other person is on the other picture is my dad. So my dad is going to be 71 pretty soon. And my dad, you know, he's getting older. And, you know, we were living in the Philippines. We were living in French Polynesia and Tahiti. And my dad, I just said, you know, my goal for his 70th birthday for my dad was to take him to New Zealand. But unfortunately, nobody's getting into New Zealand, right? And so, so we were in French Polynesia, and I just decided, you know, I'm going to fly my dad and my stepmom out, and they're going to spend like 3 weeks with us. And I got to have 3 of the most amazing weeks with my dad, swimming, going out and like whale watching, swimming with whales and sharks, and hiking volcanoes and doing all sorts of amazing things. And, it's really it was like fulfilling on my dad's dream, because, he never had that experience before, was never able to, have that. And, this is the big thing, is I know a lot of people are probably on here not just for themselves, but they're building something for other people around you as well. And, here's the thing I have to share with you. You don't have forever. You don't have forever. So if you really want to make something happen for the people around you, I really suggest that you take a serious look at if what you're doing on a daily basis is going to make that happen. Because I am so glad I was able to spend some of the time with my cousin, as an example. And I know that my dad won't be here forever. I'm very aware of that. And I am so glad that I've been able to create the memories that I've created with him and continue to. And this is the power of Herbalife, because at the end of the day, all that you're left with is memories. That's it. And Herbalife gives you the time and it gives you the money to create these amazing, amazing memories. And today I create an amazing lifestyle. While most people wake up and have to get in a car to go to a job, I wake up and decide whether I want to run, whether I want to do my BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or whether I just want to get on my bike and go for a ride. And I get to decide. I spend 3 hours every day just for myself. And that is one of the greatest gifts that Herbalife has given me, time for myself, and all these amazing experiences in life. And so, today, as we finish up here, just these questions to ask yourself, because what's important is that you have a vision for where you're going. Because there's a saying that says, no vision, you perish. Those without a vision perish, right? So, the thing is first of all, ask yourself, what's important to you? What's important to me isn't necessarily what's important to you, but what is important to you? Do you know? Have you thought about it? Okay, what really, really matters? And then what do you want for yourself and for the people around you? Because like I said, you don't have forever to create that. And I know so many people that have, wished that they would have made different decisions and different choices, and there's just not enough time anymore. And so, with that said, is what you are doing bringing you closer to your ideal life? Because if you're spending every day and it's not building something that's going to design your life, you might want to think twice about what you're doing. Because life is not forever. It's a fixed period of time. We don't know. I don't know. And if there's anything that the last 1.5 to 2 years has showed us, is that anything is possible. And, we don't know how much time we have. We don't know what's going to happen next. And, if we're going to make something happen, now is the only time we have. Now is it. And so I encourage you, now, today, talk with the person that invited you on. Start sharing with them what's important to you. And that's a great thing, because when you share what's important to you with the people that invited you online, they're going to be your biggest cheerleaders. They're going to be your best coaches. They're going to have walked the path before you. And all you've got to do is decide to share what's important, commit with them to work on that every day. And you can be answering the question that what you do every day, even if it's not with all of your day, even if it's with 1 hour a day, it is bringing you closer to the life that you want to live and that you want your family to live. So I want to thank you guys for your time so much. And I look forward to seeing you, touching you, seeing you in person sometime soon at a live event, because one day we will meet face to face, you guys. So thank you so much, you guys, for having me on today.
Thank you so much, Clint. And I really appreciate, it's personal as well. Like, I mean, emotional in a sense, because I'm very close with them. And I met the dad and Sean, the cousin. So I know exactly how Clint feels. But at the same time, it's also bring up the reason why we do what we're doing. And you know, gotta tell you, the 3 hours he have right now, he earned it. The 3 hours, the me time, he earned it all for the past so many years he worked hard for, you see. So it's not, we don't work hard, we just sit there and decide ourselves and then done, right? We definitely need to put actions, we need to put our visions, and then we need to come down to do action, you see. Like we need to talk, communicate with our coach. If you're very first time, please talk to your coach and then make a plan, make a decision what you wanted to do. All you need to do is first is decisions, right? Second is make a plan and set the goals, right? So like, thank you so much, Clint. I really appreciate. And one thing I really wanted to say is we have 135 people and then didn't drop anyone out. So everyone was listening the whole entire time for 1 hour. So everyone give yourselves a hand and thank you so much, Clint. It's incredible. And we would like to take the opportunity to take a photo first. Shall we take a photo?
All right, everybody turn on your camera and don't type anything right now for a moment. Ready, 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, and then page 2, we have 3 pages, so stay there. You don't know which page you're in. Ready, 3, 2, 1, turn on your camera. Okay, and then we have page 3. Ready, and awesome, back to you, Yan.
Thank you. So a couple of things are really great. People coming in for different reasons. Some coming in wanted to make a difference, earn a living. Some really see this as a vehicle to make an impact in people's life. Some, it just wanted to have a community to do something together. So whatever you have in mind, we respect you. But at the same time, make a decision, make a decision what you really wanted to do and set a goal, right? And time, we always say this, we never know, you know, when the time is come. But make every day is the best day for you to do something for yourself and for your family, right? Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, Clint, once again. I miss you and Liz so much. And pass it back to Ryan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in for today's session. And thank you so much, Clint. And we will wrap up the session for today. Do we have, there's one question. Oh, do you live in Singapore or near Duration? Wow, Wing Liu would like to meet. Okay,
I'm
awesome.
here, I live here.
Okay, I think that's all for today's session. Thank you so much, everybody, and see you guys. Bye.
Hey, bye-bye. You can get the contact from Benny. You can get the contact from Benny. Bye, everybody. Say that. The that team stay back.
I get lost, I get washed away. Just as long as I'm here in your arms, I could be in no better place. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone.
Hey, we haven't stopped recording,